Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Just wanted to jump on here and do a quick reading um, from the book that I'm channeling, and I thought that was kind of cool. And I'm trying not to make it too long. I know sometimes I get into, you know, going a while, but so this is this part here. It says, "Thereby you are it, that which is the being of higher and lower realms unto itself, to that which is the kingdom." So we have the higher and the lower realms within us, right? And so it's our own kingdom, whatever we're creating. Within him to its own being, which is in favor of itself, being one, two, that is source, which is in him to itself, that is its own being, one, meaning that which you come to, for it is that which is already existing. So everything's already existing, and so it's our awareness that we're coming to, that we're becoming aware of, right? And so we're of our own awareness, our higher and lower realms of being, where we are in the moment. So, you know, from being ecstatic to not. And so that's what's surfacing in the moments, right? Our higher and lower, kind of like the ups and flow of life, you might say, in that sense. But we're of the higher and lower realms, right? So we're actually in the fifth, but we're in viewing from the third. So we're actually projecting ourselves from the fifth realm into the third, right? Thereby you only have to discover itself to that which already is being unto itself, for you have to do nothing to be of it, but just to be. And just be in the moment, the experiencer, the observer, just be aware, being present, right? Meditating, be aware in the present moment. You just have to become aware of it. Thereby it is that which is the bringing of itself unto itself in its own reality, right? What are we becoming aware of in our reality, our presence, our moment, the moment in the present moment, which is to align the stars into being one, two, that already is, because you already are. Thereby is the being of one, which is the knowing of itself unto itself, that is fulfillment of being. Thereby it is that which you are fully equipped with, for you have everything you need to live. It is learning to live with everything that you have been given, right? Not just externally, but internally, because we have the heavens within. It's our experience, it's our awareness, it's our being, our beliefs, our emotions, our awareness, our intelligence, it's our intuitive abilities, our psychic awareness, our telepathy, our spiritual gifts. It's learning to deal and learn to work with everything that we have as the human form. Like, it's all be given to us. It's just learning to work with it. And when we don't understand ourselves, when we just think or contemplate ourselves as the human form, then we struggle, right? Because everything's been given to us, right? Thereby it is that which you are. Where am I? Knowing unto itself, that is the fulfillment of being. Thereby it is that which you are fully equipped with, for you have everything you need to live. It is learning to live with everything that you have been given. For you are of it, which is the stars in its place, which is the planting of the seeds, but not the stars in heaven, right? So it's not talking about outside of you, it's talking about within you. You have the stars within you, you have everything that's connected to the world, everything that's connected, right? You have your inner chakras, your connection is like this weave of life within you and connected to everything else. And it's just learning how to manage your life and just be in that space, right, with the divine within you, right? And then have that within the world and bring that to you. Just learning how to work with everything. Just know yourself, that's expression. Know thyself, right? Thereby the kingdom come to that which you are bringing to life within yourself, which is I am. So whatever is within you, you bring to life, and that's by focusing on it. And like law of attraction talks about that. Whatever you focus on, you actually bring it to life, right? Whatever is there, when it's not present, it's laying down. It's not active. It's not in your focus. It's what they call dead, right? But when you focus on it, you bring it back to life, right? And I've talked about that in a different clip. You bring to life, for I am, which is source, is of the life that you are not, which you bring to life, for I am of the life that you are, not the experience. So it's saying sources of your life, who you are, but it's not of your experience. So source doesn't experience our experience if it's not love. And experience is when we're in that state of love, which is our vibration, when we bring it up to the higher realms, but that's like love, acceptance, bliss, when we're in those states, kindness. It's not when we're in the lower realms, which is the experience of suffering, right? And then it says, thereby it is that which you are creating of your life to that which I give to you, to that which you create from, which is heaven on earth or hell. For there isn't any, but it is that which you are suffering. For there is no hell unto itself, only that which you are creating. So we create our own heaven or hell, right? And that's our experience. And like I was saying, like source is not of our experience if it's not love. So we're separate of it, right? So that's where the detachment comes when because we're actually moving away from source when we're in a space of lower realms or suffering. We're detaching ourselves from it, which creates the separation from it. Which is heaven on or hell, for there isn't any, but is that of your suffering, for there is no hell unto itself that has been created by me, which is source, only you, for you are of your own thinking, to be that which you are or are not from, which is that which you truly are, right? So we believe we're separate from source, but we're not, right? It's just our experience of being in the vibration and space that we're in the present moments, right? So thereby it is by that which you be to yourself that you are, which is in within him, not outside, to that which you come to from, which is the being of source, or that which is unto itself in him too. Thereby the relation or the related. For you belong to the world, not me. When you're separate, you belong to the world. When you're one, you belong to source. For I am within, not outside. And that would be source. Source is within, not outside. Thereby I live by him, which is in harmony, not in resonance. For when you're in resonance, you're in resonance with everything else. When you're in harmony, you're in one with source, to that which is the sound of being, that of its own dance, right? Which is that of suffering or that of bliss. Thereby I am found of myself to be of him, to that which is source or myself, wherever it is, whereas it is of them to be of myself or that which isn't. So we're either of, again, the lower realms or the higher realms, basically saying. And wherever it is that I am, I find myself, because when we're on the path and the journey and we're going, and it's like, okay, I'm found wherever I am, right? And what that means is basically when it comes to our awareness, it's brought into our awareness by where we are. So if we're in suffering, at some point we'll have a realization, okay, I'm suffering, I need to get out of here. Or I'm in bliss, this is a nice space, right? It's our awareness to either suffering or bliss, right? Thereby to claim my space in being one too is that which I create, from which is a space of purity, or that which has been tarnished. So in our tarnished, of course, purity is source, right? Love, bliss, happiness, joy, abundance. When it's tarnished, it's our negative thinking about the situations of our life where we are suffering, things like that. Thereby, or whatever we've taken up from, past, or whatever we've been programmed or our beliefs are, right? Tarnished. Thereby I am of the chakras, which is within him, to being one too, that is of itself, or that of myself, which is the hue, which is the rays of chakra. Where are we? We're in the higher or lower realms of ourselves within, right? In our higher dimensions in our reality. Where are we living from? Are we living from, our heart space, our consciousness, from what we're seeing, and which are we seeing? Are we seeing from eyes of source, or our own eyes, which is false? Or are we speaking our truth? Or are we not speaking our truth? Or we live in the lower chakras, survival or abundance. These are things that's within us, which is the hue, the ray of the rainbow. And if you look at the world, everything's of a rainbow. Our skin, who we are, the trees, everything has color, right? The sky, everything is of color. The hue is around us. It's within us. It's without outside of us. Rainbows, um, you name it, right? Even when they have the and this is going to be in one of my books, like you have the hierarchy of Maslow, and they have the chart, and it's like the rainbow, and then you have your food grid, and that's the rainbow, and then you have all these other charts that are made up of the different colors, which aligns with us. So when we eat, we should be eating the rainbow, or the hierarchies, which relates to the chakras. So from the lower realms of living up to the higher, right? So where are we within the stream of consciousness? Within ourselves, which is what they say is the chakras. Thereby I am of the chakras, which is within him to be one too, that is of itself, or that of myself, which is the hue. And that's the array of being one too, that is which I create from. So if we're in their survival, our survival consciousness, where am I creating from that, right? We're in lack. We're not in abundance, right? Even though we're trying to create abundance. From to be that which it is that I am, thereby the being of the chakras to that which I be of myself, or that which isn't, which is the higher consciousness or the lower realms. Thereby it is that which is orchestrated of itself, for you have come unto me to be of yourself, for you have crossed no one, only that which you are being in him too, which is the ley line. The ley line is within you, right? I know a lot of people talk about the ley lines around the world, but it's also within you. You have your own ley line, right? Which is the cross. It's not the one on the church. The ley line on in yourself. Which one are you crossing, right? Are you being on the polar opposites, or the extreme, or the opposite ends of the stick, however you want to look at it? Which one are you being on in that space, right? Excuse me. For you have crossed no one, only that which you are being to yourself, and him to the ley line, which is the crossover onto another dimension, which is its reality. For it is that which is or is not to that which you know of, but you see not of, that you are being at the time, which is in him to source or yourself. So where are you in, it's just saying, where are you in your journey? Are you in alignment with source, or are you in alignment with yourself? And where are you on the stream of consciousness? Which side, which is the duality? Which space are you living from? Where are you creating from, right? Thereby you've crossed over yourself unto its own being, to that which you believe it is. For there's nothing unto source, only that which you are, which is love. For you are the being to that which isn't, if you're not. For you cannot be of source and yourself at the same time, if you are not of it unto itself, which is to align, right? So align yourself with your chakras, your higher self, your consciousness, and source. Be in alignment with the universe, basically. Thereby it is to align itself with its true being, one, two, not separate from, for you are all in one, encompassing being. So everything is here. You have everything that you need to be in this space, this realm, this reality, in this human form, where you are in the present moment. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. You would be in a different thing, like a tree or an animal. You would be where you were, or where you are, that isn't of this form right now. You have everything that you need, and it's learning to work with that, and to accept what you have, and to not negate it. I know a lot of people who might be in the way of certain belief systems that believe, using your intuitive abilities and things like that are bad and negative, but you're only creating that bad and negative when you believe that, right? We're born with intuitive abilities, divine connection, heart space connection, intuitive seeing, hearing, knowing, so we can connect with source, right? Not so we can cut ourselves off from source and then listen to other people tell us it's bad, right? So it's just being okay and learning to use our own intuitive awareness and abilities. We're an encompassing being to that which is the expression of source, not separate from it. For I live which is in him, to being one too, that is all. Thereby is the being of one in all unto itself, not separate from itself. For I am of all unto itself in him, to be in the line that you have crossed. So it's kind of just coming back around circle. Thereby to walk on water, not its being unto itself that is separate, for there is no water to walk on that I can't. It is that which I choose not to, for I am of all things as they are of me, which is the line in being one, two, that is the spring, right? So the spring is the awareness of all, which is source, not myself separate, because I can't be of it if I'm not of it, which is the awareness, right? So I only have my own awareness, which is separate of it. When you're aligned with source, you have source consciousness awareness, right? Which is a higher realm, so you see differently from it. So the experience of having, I can see from different perspectives about that situation, then you're seeing from the different perspectives that it could be, which is not the limitations of the human form, when you only see it one way, right? And so I don't know if you've had that experience where somebody comes to you and say, blah, 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 this person has done this to me, or I'm currently in this situation, this person has done this to me. And when you can see it from different perspectives, you're having this different dialogue going on within you. No, I can see why they would say that. Have you thought about that? Or, no, I can see why this happened, and you understand you can take their side, but you can also take the other person's side. You can see from both sides or different sides of the equation, right? And that's bringing it into our awareness so that that's true, right? The awareness of trueness is seeing from different perspectives, not just one limited view, if that makes sense. Because you can see it from all kinds of different perspectives when it onto yourself, if you're in that space of awareness, which is source. But you can only see from one perspective if you're in the human version, and that's separate from source, right? Thereby to walk on water, not its being unto itself, which is separate, for there is no water to walk on that I can't. If it can't, it is that which I choose not to, for I am of all things as you are of me, which is the line of being two, that is of the spring, which is the awareness, right? So basically it's saying you can walk on water, and so that kind of brings me back when I got that, when the download, when I was writing, I was like, oh my God, right? And then it took me back to the memories when I was um, trying to question about that, and I'll share that in a different experience, a different video about walking on water. It was fun for me anyway, but I'll share that in a different one. But in order to walk on water, and Jesus says that, and Jesus did it. You can walk on water. You have to be one with water to walk on water. You have to be one with the mountain to move mountains. You have to be one with source to be of source knowledge. That's what that means, right? And so when you're connected, then you can do the things that have been done by source, by Jesus, by those who have created those things. You have to be of it in order to do it, right? It's not saying to be them as they are in their human form, but to be connected divinely with your consciousness, which is higher than the person in the realm, and the believing and the feeling, right? And it's taking that out of the equation. But you can walk on water, but you have to be of water. You have to be one with water. And when I got that download in this book, I was like, oh my God, I get it. I totally get it. So that was really cool. But yeah, that was amazing. And it says, thereby, meaning it is all unto you, to that which is being given, to that which is possible. So we have everything that we need. It's just being aware of it, conscious of it, experiencing it, allowing, and dive into it, practice it. Don't be afraid to experiment and step out of your comfort zone and start meditating, playing with it. And that's how I got a lot of my my awareness, my knowledge, right, is stepping out of the human consciousness, questioning what was going on, what's going on more than beyond my realm. Why am I in this space? What's happening here? And when I questioned, I received answers and information, right? And so meditation, yoga, being present with yourself, trying to look from different perspectives, observe, be the observer. Um, do practices, step out of your comfort zone and just being this way. And so many of us just live in this restricted consciousness of the human form and don't expand our awareness. And okay, and it's not about going to college and learning stuff, it's about what we already have here, because we have so much here that we're not even like tapping into, right? It's just not, it's like this tiny bit. There's so much going on here that when we pull away those concepts and those constructs and the one way, one thinking, that a lot of conditioning, belief systems, religions, society put on us, when we take those away, we have more awareness that comes from the spring, which is source. Source is the spring of all knowledge and awareness, right? And um, so that does, help open us to higher realms, up here in our divine connection, because everything is possible. And then let's see here. Thereby it is that which is the intelligence of itself that is being one to that which is aligned, that it has crossed unto itself, as you are as source. And I'm going to end it there. But all things are possible unto us. It's just taking a look out of it. Let go of your constructs or what you think it is, because you can't, and this came to me a long time ago, you cannot put anything else into a full glass until you empty some of it. So when you empty some of your glass, that allows source to bring in something new for you, a new awareness, a new space, a new reality, a new creation, a new experience from a different perspective. So when you have a full glass, you can't put anything else in there, right? And when that's kind of like restricting yourself to, this is only what I'm going to think about or believe because this is what I've been told. But what you've been told is from people that are not connected themselves to divine awareness, right? Unless they are spiritually open and aware, right? If they're one mind, one conscious religion, construction, one belief, one way, that's not source. And I did a video on that. The difference between spirituality and religion. Um, and so basically when you can open yourself up, right, you're allowing source to come in with new consciousness and highness, and we can raise our vibration, of the world. And it's like stepping out of and what I'm getting now is like stepping out of um, the oldness. And a lot of times it takes a lot, and that's what we're going through now. Is what's been being shown to me is kind of like peeling the layers of an onion, or taking the peel off of a banana, or it's taking the layers off of the old constructs right now. And that's what's happening. Whereas we're evolving into a new awareness, higher consciousness, new realms. As we're in this shift right now, you can call it a shift. We're currently in it. It's not coming. It's happening now, and the layers are being shed and off. And the only way to do that is by seeing it. So it's like a chrysalis, like the butterfly, the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. It's happening all around us. And yes, we're going to go through a lot of things that we may not, but in order to do that, we have to bring that up from the bottom, right? Because we're at a point where it's just this, and it's almost like this layer that I'm getting. It looks like a layer, and like we have all this space up here, which is lighter, and then we have like this layer, this barrier, and then we have all this darkness and negative and old construct, all this stuff dying off, and it looks like it's starting to, for me, it looks like it's peeling skin, like when you get sunburn. It's cracking and it's peeling and it's being peeled away, right? With everything that we've been going through since, I would say, probably, I don't know, we've been going through it for a long time, but it's really becoming, because now it's like breaking the crust of whatever is there. And so when that peels away, new stuff can come up. And every new generation that comes in brings new awareness and new consciousness from a new place. So when you are coming back in and being reborn, you're coming back in from a new place than where you were to see it from. And so when things come back around and regenerate, that is a healing, right? If we're able to step from a new place, right? And that goes back to karma, my karma video, which I did. So if you see from a new place of awareness, which karma isn't, just to recap, karma isn't to reap what you sow, it's to see from a different perspective. So go check out that video. It explains more. But if we're coming back in, it's like a regenerative. So when the new generations come in, it's the old soul coming back in to see from a new perspective of that, to transform what's been into a new space. And it's just this regenerative thing that's going on. It's not a negative or bad thing, right? But a lot of people want to look at it as bad or negative. Oh, they're going to reap their karma. Oh, I wish this bad thing to be on you, what you did to me, right? But what did you do to deserve it, right? So we don't want to look at it that way, because when we look at karma as, as a revenge or a way of getting back at them, we're actually involving ourselves and we're creating it again. We're kind of not evolving, we're just recreating it. But a lot of things that are going on now is evolution, right? And even though we look at it, this is still continuing from the past, it's coming back around. Yeah, it is. But it's given us a new opportunity to look at it from a different perspective and change it, not redo it, right? And so at that point, if it's going to continue and it does happen again, then we're not really seeing it from that perspective. We're continuing the line that it's coming back into, but it needs to come back because it's been unresolved, right? It's still there under the muck. It's just resurfacing for it to be transformed, right? So in that way, we want to look at it like that, with all the things that are coming back up and around to be dealt with, right? Whether that's on a personal level or a macro level, which is in the world that we're seeing now. A lot of places are going through a lot of different things, right? And so it's how we're really looking at it. When am I looking at it from a negative view? Like, oh, a lot of hate going towards them, and they shouldn't be doing that, and who's wrong, who's right. It's not about that, right? It's about resolving the situation that's happened in the past, right? So it, like I said, there's like this on the top, it's almost like there's this light and this energy and this vibration, this purity, this lights, and then you have your level that disconnects you, and then you have everything underneath here. And so when I see it, it's kind of like all this crackling and this happening, and it's shedding. It's like the caterpillar coming out of the chrysalis, right? And that's basically what it is, really. And that's just how I get it, and that's how I'm being shown it as it's happening. And so sometimes we do have to go through those situations, unfortunately, to have that shift. But we are actually in the shift now, as it's happening. And it's really not what they say as far as, they put it that way, but that's not what it is, as far as religion, as, Jesus is coming back, and no, Jesus isn't going to save anyone, and Jesus isn't going to be here to put any negative stuff on anybody, right? That's way off point. You know what I mean? People aren't going to. Jesus isn't going to come here and make people reap what they've sown. I mean, that's just, really think about that. Really think about. You know what I mean? You got to think about what you're thinking. Is this right? Does this make sense? This is just craziness, right? It's just old patterns that are resurfacing so we can get rid of them, because we are moving into a new reality, the new earth, the new consciousness. And in order for that to happen, we have to shift out of these old dominating belief systems and the things that are currently existing. So it's the breaking away from this, which is creating the pulling away, and it's creating the crackling and then the peeling effect of what's been there. It's allowing the new layers to come up, right? And so that forms into a new awareness consciousness. But that's the possibilities, right? So kind of that's all I have to really say on that. That's all I'm getting. But if you have any more questions, if you want to have a deeper conversation, I do sessions, coaching, and just, reach out to me. We can book a session. Um, Also, if you need direction and help on your personal journey, I do coaching sessions with that as well, and kind of can help give you guidance and direction in that way. Also, I've been thinking about doing a group on healing the karmic oversoul, which is just looking at our lives, right? Transforming ourselves so we have a better awareness, better connection, and we're transforming our lives. So when we go over, when we're done with this life, we go over and we have our life review. We're actually really doing it now, because that's what the karmic overlay is. It's what we're creating now in this moment. And if we're able to do a life review and learn to be present and in this moment here today, when we pass and we're done with this life and we do our past life review, there it's going to help negate anything that, because you're already dealing with it now, you're not going to deal with it later, right? So personal attention to yourself, inner dive, allowing awareness to come in, transforming our lives now instead of later. And that's basically what, the sessions with thinking about doing as far as like a group or a master class on, which is healing the karmic overlay. And I have a book out there that's on Amazon, with the other books I have, healing the karmic overlay. So check that out. Just put in Laura Molecavage on Amazon and see all the different books that I have. It's on there. It'll come up. But if you want to do a personalized individual session, I have those available. If you do want to wait for the group, we can do that. You can get the book. Just reach out and we'll do a session or two, and get you going on the path, or help you along the path that you're already on. And yeah, that's basically it. If you want to share some experiences below or any positive comments, again, just keep it positive, but surely be able to share your thoughts below and what you're thinking, because they're always welcome. We should never be shut down or told that's incorrect, so everybody's allowed to share what they have. I just ask that you put it in a respectable way, and so allow that to flow through so everybody's okay with being on the channel, experiencing, expressing what they have to say and share. And that's being acceptance of all. It's not saying, it has to be this way. The only thing I ask is just to be kind when you put it there, and just be mindful of how you're putting it. So I honor your perception and your beliefs, and things like that. But again, just be respectful for everybody in that way. Like, share, comment below, book a session, check out my books, Amazon.com. And yeah, hope you guys have a happy journeys, and check out the next clip. I'll be sharing the walking on water little experience. That was fun. All right, well, happy journeys.